Today, you're going to learn how to structure your CV. And having a good CV is crucial to winning a job that you really, really want. You'd be amazed how many people who I know can do a job but don't get invited in for an interview because their CV isn't up to scratch. Now, before we get into how to structure your CV, there's one very important thing to remember. The purpose of a CV is not to get you the job. The purpose of a CV is to get you an interview. In order to do that, you need to focus on creating a CV that answers what the employer wants. They have a problem and you are the solution. And that's really important to remember. Hello, I'm Matt Dodgson and I'm a founder of Market Recruitment, and we connect ambitious B2B marketers with exciting jobs at technology firms. So, how should you structure your CV? Well, no surprise here, but I'd always suggest going for a chronological CV. A chronological CV goes in date order from your most recent job backwards. And unless you're a designer, I'd suggest keeping your CV in a Word document. Don't use any fancy CVs and don't load it full of HTML because it won't be compatible with many systems that recruiters and employees use to manage your application. You also need to have your name, contact details, and address at the top. And I know this may seem obvious, but you'd be amazed how many people don't have an address on their CV. Companies want to see where you live to understand whether or not you can easily get into their office. Now, if you're concerned about putting your full address on there, that's not a problem at all. You could just put London or the start of the postcode. And if you're looking to relocate, then just mention that. If you're in Manchester and you're looking to move down to London, don't put your Manchester address on there. You can always give them your actual address for an offer letter when you get to that point. And if you're someone that uses LinkedIn a lot to help with your personal branding, you could always have your LinkedIn URL on there too. So that's the very top of your CV covered and the really basic bit. And here's the bombshell. I wouldn't put a summary section at the top of your CV. In my opinion, there's a number of problems with a summary. One, most people don't feel that comfortable writing about themselves. Two, most people don't know what to write anyway. Three, if they end up writing a summary, it has no relevance to what the company needs and focuses too much on them. And fourth, and most importantly probably, it doesn't even get read by hiring managers. So I would get rid of the summary section altogether and replace it with a strap line like this. Because somebody reading your CV for the first time won't spend any longer than 20 seconds on it. You want to capture somebody's eye and give them a sense of what you'll bring to solve their problems front and center. The strap line is the problem that you solve and the problem that the employer is trying to solve too. So ideally you want a close match. Then underneath we've got this section, which is an overview of the key aspects of your experience. Again, they should be a really good match for the job that you're applying to. And it may be something that you slightly tweak to match the language for each company in their advert. So we've made some good progress, and now you should have your contact details right at the top, then your strap line, and then after that the key aspects of your experience. The next section under that will depend on how experienced you are. If you're less experienced, so say up to 8 years, I would probably suggest putting your education first. If you're more experienced, I would probably then recommend putting your education at the bottom of the CV. Next will come your technical skills. And if you're in the world of B2B marketing, then it will be things like HubSpot, Salesforce, InDesign, Photoshop, Google Analytics. I'm sure you get what I mean. And having the names of the tools you use is also vital, as more and more companies are looking for B2B marketers with knowledge of particular ones. And then after your key skills section, you'll move on to your career history with your most recent job at the top. And we have another video covering that in a lot more detail too. So what else would I recommend? Well, your CV shouldn't be any longer than 3 pages long. Try and make it easy to read by having plenty of white space and not cramming it full of text. Remember, this isn't a document of everything that you've done, just enough information to get some interest. And finally, don't put your headshot photo on your CV. That may be commonplace elsewhere, but it's not common in the UK. So that's it. Just remember that a CV is designed to get you an interview and not the job. And if you have that in the front of your mind when you're creating the structure of your CV, you won't go far wrong. So best of luck. Please reach out to me if you've got any questions, and I'd also encourage you to watch the next video in our CV series. Take care.